Okay, let's talk about a story that's 4,000 years old. You'd think it would feel ancient, right? But what's so incredible about the Epic of Gilgamesh is just how modern it feels. It's all about friendship, loss, and the big question, what's the meaning of life? And believe me, its answers are just as powerful today as they were at the dawn of civilization. But here's the thing about Gilgamesh, and it's something that can kind of trip you up at first. As Sudipbo says, this poem can be frustrating, in a way the Iliad or the Bible aren't. And why is that? Well, it's because we don't have the whole thing. It's not this perfectly preserved, complete book. It's more like a masterpiece that we're still putting together piece by piece. And honestly, that's what makes it so exciting. And you can really see what we're talking about right here. Look at the left. That's the Iliad, nice and clean. Now look at the right. That's Gilgamesh. See all those gaps? That's because we're piecing this story together from literally thousands of broken clay tablets found all over the world. So every time a new translation comes out, it's not just a new take on the story, it's a genuine act of discovery, like we're filling in another piece of this incredible ancient puzzle. All right, so what's this story all about? Well, at its core, it's about two guys. Let's start with our so-called hero, Gilgamesh. He's the king of this massive city, Uruk. And get this, he's two-thirds god and one-third human. So yeah, he's incredibly powerful, he's famous, and he is an absolute out-of-control tyrant. And the people of Uruk, they're suffering big time. The epic lays it all out. Gilgamesh is just relentlessly abusing his power. He's wearing out the young men in these exhausting contests, and he's taking every bride on her wedding night. His people are desperate, so they cry out to the gods for help. And you know what? The gods actually listen. So, to deal with Gilgamesh's massive ego, the gods decide to create his match, his equal. They create a guy named Enkidu. And Enkidu is the polar opposite of Gilgamesh in every single way. Gilgamesh is the civilized king. Enkidu, he's a wild man, literally made from clay by the gods. He's covered in hair, lives out in the wilderness with the animals, and knows nothing about civilization. He was specifically designed to be the one force on Earth who could stand up to Gilgamesh's stormy heart. And oh, he is definitely a match. So Enkidu eventually gets lured into the city of Uruk. And when he and Gilgamesh finally meet, it is on. They have this legendary city-shaking wrestling match. You'd expect one to destroy the other, right? But that's not what happens. Instead, they embrace. They stop fighting. The tyrant king has finally met his equal, the one person who gets him. And just like that, they become the best of friends, an absolutely inseparable pair. This friendship completely changes Gilgamesh. I mean, he goes from being this tyrant who terrorizes his own city to an adventurer hungry for glory. Now that he's got his best friend with him, he wants to go out and make a name for himself, a name that will echo through eternity. And together, they go on this incredible series of adventures. First, they travel to the Great Cedar Forest to take down its terrifying guardian, the monster Humbaba. They do it. Then, they get back to Uruk, and the goddess Ishtar tries to seduce Gilgamesh. He rejects her, flat out. So furious, she sends the bull of heaven to destroy the city. And what do? They kill it. But you can't just go around killing monsters and defying gods without consequences. Their arrogance, their hubris, it ticks off the gods, and the gods decide that one of them has to pay. They choose Enkidu. He is sentenced to die. So Gilgamesh has to watch his friend, his other half, get sick and die, and it breaks him, completely shatters him. For the very first time in his life, this unbeatable king comes face to face with an enemy he can't fight, an enemy he can't defeat, death itself. And the idea that the same thing will happen to him fills him with this raw, overwhelming terror. So he is just consumed by grief and fear. He throws on an animal skin, leaves his hair all matted, abandons his throne, his whole kingdom, and just starts wandering in the wilderness. His quest isn't for fame anymore. No, this is about something way bigger. He's going to find the secret to eternal life. He is going to conquer death. And this journey, it takes him to the literal ends of the earth. He has to go through these mountain passes guarded by scorpion monsters. He even has to cross the waters of death. All of this just to find one person, a man named Utnapishtim. Why him? Because he's the only human who was ever granted immortality. And this is the one question that's driving him, the only thing he cares about now. After losing his best friend, he is absolutely convinced that Utnapishtim has the answer he needs. So, who is this guy, Utnapishtim? Well, his story is going to sound really familiar. He's basically the Babylonian version of Noah. See, the gods got fed up with how noisy humans were and decided to wipe everyone out with a massive flood. But one god tipped off Utnapishtim, told him to build a giant boat and save his family and the seed of all living things. He did it. He survived the flood, and as a reward, the gods made him and his wife immortal. And what's wild is that this story is centuries older than the one in the Bible. So you can see why Gilgamesh thinks this is the guy with all the answers. Okay, so this is a really important idea to get. Think about what Gilgamesh is actually looking for. He wants a commanding word, like a magic spell, a cheat code, some secret trick that will let him beat death. He wants power over reality. But what he's about to get is something totally different. He's going to get a poetic word, not power, but wisdom, the kind of story that helps you accept reality for what it is. So after this epic journey, Gilgamesh finally asks Utnapishtim, "Tell me the secret. How do I live forever?" And Utnapishtim doesn't hand him some magic potion or chant a spell. He tells him a story. He tells him his story, the story of the Great Flood. And that's the big reveal. The secret to immortality isn't a trick to escape death. It's a story. It's the wisdom that helps you understand that being human means being mortal, and that maybe, just maybe, death is what makes life so precious. Now, as you can imagine, this is not the answer Gilgamesh was looking for. He wanted a magic trick, not a philosophy lesson. So since he didn't get the commanding word he came for, he gets a couple of last-ditch practical tests to see if he really has what it takes to beat mortality. So first, Utnapishtim gives him a test. It sounds simple, just stay awake for 7 nights. Gilgamesh, he falls asleep almost immediately. He can't even conquer sleep, which is like death's little brother, so that's fail number 1. But then, as a kind of parting gift, he's told about this magical plant at the bottom of the ocean that makes you young again. And he gets it. He dives down and pulls it up. But on the way home, he stops for a swim. And while he's not looking, a snake slithers up, eats the plant, and instantly sheds its skin, becoming young again right in front of him. And Gilgamesh, he's left with nothing. Absolutely nothing. So he heads back home to Uruk, and he's just defeated. A broken man. I mean, think about it. He failed at everything. He didn't get the secret. He failed the test. He even lost the one physical prize he managed to get. From the outside, his whole epic quest was a complete and total failure. Or was it? He gets to the edge of his city, Uruk, and he turns to the person with him and says this. He tells him to look at the city, to climb the walls, to check out the foundations, the amazing brickwork. And what's so incredible is that these lines he speaks at the very end of his story are almost the exact same lines that begin the entire epic. His journey has come full circle. He stopped looking for some magic secret in the sky and started seeing the miracle right in front of him, the city he built. And this, right here, is the deep, beautiful wisdom of the whole story. Gilgamesh didn't find eternal life. No. He found something way more valuable, how to live a meaningful, mortal life. He finally gets it. Real immortality isn't about your body living forever. It's about the legacy you leave behind. It's in the things you build, the community you serve, and most of all, in the stories people tell about you long, long after you're gone. Gilgamesh failed in his quest to become a god, but in that failure, he finally learned how to be a good man and a great king. And so the epic leaves us with a question, one that's just as real for us today as it was 4,000 years ago. What really endures in this world? A life that never ends, or a story that's told forever?